What if everything you thought you knew about ancient Egypt was just a sliver of the truth? Imagine a civilization wielding technology so advanced, it almost defies belief. Carving massive stones with surgical precision, developing hygiene practices that rival our own, and mastering agricultural techniques that powered an empire. But here's the kicker. These secrets were almost lost to time, hidden away like whispers in the sands, leaving modern science scratching its head. Think about it. How did they build structures that still stand today without the tools we consider essential? Why do traces of methods we barely understand keep surfacing in ancient ruins? And most intriguingly, why were these innovations seemingly left behind, as if they were meant to remain Egypt's hidden legacy? Get ready, because what you're about to uncover is more than just history. It's a doorway into a forgotten world of genius that almost seems like science fiction. This is ancient Egypt as you've never seen it before, where the secrets behind their advanced tech might just change how you see the past and the future. The ancient Egyptians likely had a fascinating method for constructing their monumental pyramids. Picture a sloping, curved ramp structure designed for hauling massive stone blocks with sleds, rollers, and levers. This was engineering at a level that still boggles the mind, especially when we consider they achieved this without any modern technology. According to Greek historian Herodotus, around 100,000 workers were involved in this colossal effort. Though this estimate might be a bit exaggerated, the vision of so many individuals united in such an ambitious task is awe-inspiring, don't you think? And these ramps? Some believe they spiraled around the pyramid, creating a continuous path that allowed stones to be lifted higher and higher with each rotation. Just imagine the grand layout, the precision required to layer each stone perfectly. It's nearly impossible not to marvel at the sheer logistics, organization, and skill involved. How did they align everything so precisely? This is where the brilliance of their methods really shines. Many have tried to replicate these techniques, but few have come close to achieving the precision seen in these ancient wonders. Now think about the workers themselves. Despite popular portrayals of slave labor, evidence suggests a different picture. These workers were likely skilled artisans, fed, housed, and treated as part of a close-knit community. It's as if pyramid building was a national project, where everyone felt connected to a cause larger than themselves. They weren't just building for the pharaohs. They were building a legacy that would outlive them all. Who wouldn't want to be part of something that grand? It's fascinating to consider that despite all this organization, there's still debate about the true purpose of these pyramids. Were they really just tombs? Or was there another, even more mysterious purpose? The shape, orientation, and positioning of the pyramids raise questions that go beyond what the eye can see. It's as though every stone holds a hidden secret that we're still trying to uncover. Incredible, isn't it? And this is just the beginning. Did you know that pyramid building techniques were only a fragment of the Egyptians' vast ingenuity? This is only the start of a journey where we discover that when it comes to creating and innovating, the ancient Egyptians were way ahead of their time. Before we dive deeper, make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Up next, we'll be uncovering the incredible organization of these pyramid workers and unraveling yet another layer of this legendary civilization's mysteries. Contrary to the earlier idea of massive, chaotic labor forces, modern evidence suggests a smaller, specialized crew of about 20,000 workers with a well-organized support staff was responsible for the pyramids. Picture it as a massive construction project today. Think of a team of highly skilled engineers, foremen, and craftsmen working on a skyscraper. Each person has a distinct role, contributing with precision and coordination. Far from being a chaotic assembly of workers, it was more like a high-stakes operation. Doesn't that bring ancient construction a bit closer to home? These ancient workers were more than just brute force. They were specialized craftspeople. Think about how every part of modern construction, from architects to crane operators, requires a specific skill set. Imagine entering an ancient work site and seeing master stone carvers, transport experts, and logistics planners, each as precise in their craft as a modern tradesperson. Pyramid building wasn't just hard labor. It was expertise, craftsmanship, and planning all woven together. The Egyptians didn't just have manpower, they had a system. Now let's talk logistics, feeding, housing, and keeping thousands motivated isn't easy. Just as a large construction site today has facilities to keep workers comfortable and productive, ancient Egyptians built bakeries, breweries, and barracks specifically for their crew. These weren't enslaved laborers, but valued contributors to a monumental project. Picture a modern-day worksite with on-site meals, recreation, and team activities. This ancient crew had a similar setup, centuries before such practices became standard. It brings the organization of pyramid construction closer to today's workplace culture. But here's a surprising thought. Beyond tools and techniques, this workforce was united by a deep sense of purpose. Working on a pyramid wasn't just another job. It was like building a legacy, much like a modern professional might feel working on a project that will impact generations. Imagine working on something that you know will be talked about, respected, and studied for thousands of years. Every block they placed was part of that shared vision, a motivation that's rare in most jobs, but invaluable in the ones that shape history. And this isn't even the full story. What's even more intriguing are the tools they used, especially when it comes to materials as tough as granite. Think of them as the cutting-edge technology of their time. If you're curious to see just how advanced these ancient tools were, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next in unraveling these mysteries of ancient Egyptian technology. Imagine standing in front of an unfinished obelisk, towering but still partially embedded in the bedrock of an ancient Egyptian quarry. Researchers believe advanced tools were used here, tools that left unique striations, almost like the marks you'd see if you took a modern power tool to stone. If this sounds far-fetched, consider this. These techniques left marks that today's experts are still scratching their heads over. What tools could possibly shape something so massive and dense in a time when iron itself was a rare commodity? Some suggest they used copper tools combined with sand as an abrasive. Think of sandpaper, but on a colossal scale. Still, seeing the precision of these cuts, it's tempting to compare their methods to something similar to industrial machinery. Imagine the care and control needed to prevent cracking an entire obelisk, a stone the size of a small building. How did they manage such precision without the high-tech equipment we rely on today? It's like they had a secret weapon, a technique that remains tantalizingly out of reach for us. Now let's talk about the sheer scale. An obelisk can weigh hundreds of tons. Lifting and transporting such a colossal piece of stone seems daunting even with modern cranes. Yet the Egyptians managed it, with what appears to be a combination of sheer ingenuity and unknown techniques. Imagine trying to carve and lift a stone as tall as a 7-story building, weighing more than a Boeing 747. How could they possibly handle such a feat with rudimentary tools? It's like solving a jigsaw puzzle without seeing the picture first. Yet they made it happen. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Some experts propose that they may have used an early form of geometric and mathematical calculations, similar to the way engineers calculate load-bearing limits today. It's as if ancient Egyptian craftsmen had their own form of engineering blueprint, carefully calculating every cut and strike. Imagine that. Craftsmen using blueprints thousands of years before the term even existed. Such sophistication in planning challenges our assumptions about ancient technology. And there's more. Ancient Egyptians weren't just expert stone carvers. They were pioneers in daily life innovations too. Join us as we dive into the little-known facts about Egyptian ingenuity in personal hygiene next. Fascinated by these stories? Hit that subscribe button to keep discovering the secrets of ancient Egypt's forgotten tech marvels. Beyond all the pyramids and temples, ancient Egyptians had some pretty cool ideas when it came to daily life. Picture this. They already had mirrors, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and even breath mints. These weren't just random luxuries either. They showed how much Egyptians cared about cleanliness and looking after themselves, just like us today. It's wild to think about how resourceful they were, whipping up personal care products from whatever nature offered. Way ahead of their time, don't you think? Take their toothpaste. No fancy mint flavors or fluoride here. They mix crushed eggshells and ground-up ox hooves. Yeah, really. While it might make us wince, it got the job done. And let's talk toothbrushes. They made theirs from frayed branches. Imagine brushing your teeth every morning with a twig. It's kind of quirky, but they made it work. It's proof that even thousands of years ago, people were finding ways to keep fresh. And those mirrors? Forget glass. These were polished metal, super shiny, and made with such care. Think of it as the ancient selfie tool for when they needed a quick check before heading out. Sure, they didn't have the perfect glassy finish, but these mirrors were game changers for the time, helping Egyptians look their best. It shows how even back then looking sharp was a big deal. Then there were breath mints. Yeah, thousands of years ago, Egyptians were popping frankincense and cinnamon breath mints to keep their mouths fresh. Picture ancient Egyptians keeping these little treats on hand, just like we grab a mint or gum today. It's kind of funny to imagine, but it also makes them feel more relatable. Who doesn't like a little freshening up after a meal? And if you thought that was clever, wait till you see what they did with their homes and farms. Egyptian innovation didn't stop at personal care. It went right into their decor and agriculture too. Stick around to learn how their genius stretched from stylish furniture to farming tricks we still use today. The Egyptians weren't just advanced in technology. They also had a knack for style and innovation at home. Imagine walking into an ancient Egyptian house and finding beautifully decorated furniture and woven area rugs, things that wouldn't look out of place in a modern home. They were real trendsetters, blending beauty and functionality in ways that still inspire interior design today. Egyptians loved to add a touch of elegance to everyday life, making their homes a reflection of their culture's taste and artistry. And they didn't stop with stylish interiors. Egyptians also pioneered clever agricultural methods to support their society. One example? The ox-drawn plow. They used these plows, hitched to animals, to turn the soil, making planting more efficient. It's like an early version of today's farm machinery. It's easy to picture Egyptian farmers using these tools to cultivate fields along the Nile, feeding a whole civilization with methods that would last for centuries. But the Egyptians' genius went beyond plows. Their irrigation systems were incredibly advanced for the time, harnessing the power of the Nile to control water flow and distribute it to their fields. Think of it as an ancient sprinkler system, one that supported vast fields and kept crops growing year-round. These irrigation techniques made it possible to produce the abundant harvest needed to sustain both the working class and the elites, who lived in lavish homes adorned with crafted furniture and decor. Speaking of craftsmanship, the Egyptians were masters in furniture design too. They carved and painted furniture with intricate designs, adding a personal touch that brought life to each piece. Imagine a bed frame or a chair with animal-shaped legs, painted in vivid colors. Their furniture wasn't just functional. It was a form of expression, reflecting their love for nature, animals, and the gods they worshipped. It's impressive to think how many elements of today's decor and style trace back to these early artisans. Their attention to detail and skill in everything from home decor to agriculture show just how multifaceted the Egyptians were. And this creativity wasn't limited to just practical or aesthetic purposes. It reflected a culture deeply connected to the natural world and their beliefs. Egypt's legacy is a testament to how art and function were perfectly intertwined, setting a standard that many still admire and emulate today. Congratulations! You've just unlocked a glimpse into the ancient world that few people ever see. Think about it. With every stone carved, every invention uncovered, you're stepping into a realm of knowledge that's reserved for those curious enough to dig a little deeper. But here's the question: what else don't we know? What other forgotten secrets are lying in wait, ready to reshape everything we thought we understood about the past? Imagine being part of the select few who not only appreciate these mysteries but understand them, connecting with the wisdom that shaped empires and defined civilizations. Did learning about ancient Egyptian technology make you feel just a bit sharper? Maybe even inspired? These discoveries are only a taste of the countless mysteries still buried, waiting for someone like you to explore. So, if you're ready to keep diving into history's most hidden secrets, make sure you're part of the journey. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's continue this adventure into the past together. Because learning the secrets of the ancients might just make you the smartest person in the room.